it's me, a wild kitty appeared, and today for you I'll be talking about my top 10 favorite shows. So yes, from what my rules of this list are, it will be live action TV shows and also Western cartoons. There is no anime on this list. That's for another list that I'm planning on doing, so watch out for that. Anyways, yes, so basically I'll be talking about, because again, I do want to talk more about my loves for other TV shows and cartoons that I like. So yeah, let's begin with this list. So let's start with number 10. Number 10 is Star versus the Forces of Evil. So yes, this show is basically about a girl who comes basically from a different dimension. She's a princess of that dimension and she basically gets in trouble a lot. She gets so much in trouble that she is sent to Earth, basically our dimension, to basically learn to behave basically. Because it's either that or she goes to this basically reform school for naughty princesses basically. And basically the whole show is that she has this magic wand that this guy Pluto wants to get, and with her best friend Marcus, they fight off basically, the forces of evil. I don't know why it's just called Star versus the forces of evil, even though Marcus is actually a big help, which is a good thing to see as well. And yeah, and it's, all miscellaneous adventures that happen, chaos ensues. A preteen girl basically has a magical wand, chaos will ensue and hilarity will ensue as well. It's at number 10 because at other times I do like a lot of the episodes. There are times where, I feel like I do get it's a kids TV show. I'm not, the demographic for a lot of the episodes. There's a few episodes where I'm just like, this is obviously for kids. I'm not gonna like this very much. But there are some episodes that are so interesting and it goes through the lore about it, and I find it so interesting. That's what's keeping me on it at the moment. The reason it's at number 10 is mostly because of those few episodes that are clearly not for me to watch. But all the other episodes I've seen are very interesting, and I am looking forward to the next season because it looks like there's going to be more interesting episodes. So yes, anyways, on to the next one. Number 9 is Teen Wolf. Now before any of you ask, no, it is not the movie Teen Wolf that was made back in the 80s. No. This is MTV's Teen Wolf, which basically is about a boy named Scott who becomes, I know Scott was also the name of the guy in the movie, but obviously completely different guy. One night, him and his friend go off to find a dead body, as you do. Well, another half of a dead body. And then, of course, his friend basically gets caught by his dad. Scott's left in the woods, and basically he gets bit by a werewolf, and basically, he transforms into a werewolf. This show, well, the first few seasons, I think season 1 and 2, I would say, are not best seasons, to be perfectly honest. I feel like they're just more cheese and teen drama, blah blah blah. I feel like I wouldn't be able to continue watching the show if it wasn't for Scott's best friend Styles, because he actually kept the show alive and pretty much was what the audience was thinking at this moment. So yes, without him I feel like the show would have failed, but that's just my opinion. And of course the seasons do get a lot darker, and there's a lot less teen drama, more other stuff, more supernatural stuff that's happening, because it is called Teen Wolf, obviously. There's gonna be werewolves, a whole bunch of other supernatural beings. There's not been vampires yet, which I find very interesting. Again, I haven't seen the last season, so I don't know if they do show up, but again, I don't know if they do show up because I haven't seen the last season yet. I'm waiting until it's finally up on Netflix, and then I can binge watch the last season. But yes, anyways, I again would suggest that you should at least give Teen Wolf a try. Just focus on Styles, because Styles is awesome, and he's the reason the show was kept alive for as long as it was. Anyways, on to the next one. Number 8 is Ruby. Now before I go into the explanation of what Ruby is about, yes, I know there is a huge debate whether to consider Ruby an anime or not. I do not consider Ruby an anime. It is anime inspired, yes, because there's a lot of tropes that remind me a lot of anime and stuff like that, and storylines that you're like, yeah, that obviously could come out of an anime, but it's not anime. It was made in America, not in Japan. So again, if you think it's anime, then that's your opinion, but that's just my opinion of what I think. Anyways, yes, Ruby. Ruby is basically about a girl named, well, Ruby, and she wants to become a huntress, which is basically someone who goes out and fights these things called Grimm, which protect the cities and kingdom of and protects all the kingdoms of their world. And basically they go to a school to learn how to do it. You have Ruby, you have Weiss, you got Blake, and you got Yang. And they make up Team Ruby, which, yeah, the team's named after the main character. Yeah, okay. But a lot of it is, I will say, when it comes to Volume 1 and 2, yes, I know a lot of people basically dropped it, but I wouldn't have dropped it if I were you. It actually gets a lot more interesting by Volume 3. Basically, I should highly suggest, even if you dropped it at Volume 1, go back, watch Volume 1, go watch Volume 2, then watch Volume 3. Trust me, it's worth it. Don't skip to Volume 3 because I'm going to tell you it's more of an impact if you actually watch the first 2 than just skipping to 3. Trust me, it's worth the wait, and also Volume 4 was really good too. So, yeah. And also I will have to say, I have to mention Monty Ooms. Again, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I know his name's Monty, but I can never pronounce his last name. But he worked really hard on this series, but unfortunately he passed away a few years ago. But the Rooster Teeth still keep the animation alive. Monty did write down basically everything that happens because apparently he planned 10 volumes of this. So obviously, yes, he really hardly worked on the story, and Rooster Teeth are keeping it alive, and I respect that so much. I didn't know the guy, I didn't know him until Ruby, but the guy did seem like a really genuine guy, and he worked on a lot of really good stuff. If you've ever seen I can't remember the name of it, I'll look it up later on, but if you've ever seen when you see Final Fantasy characters and Kingdom Hearts characters fighting, that was him choreographing it. The man is very good at choreographing fight scenes, and he is missed dearly because this man was a very hard worker. Anyways, let's get on to the next one. Number 7 is Steven Universe. So yes, Steven Universe is about a human half-gem called Steven, and he basically lives with the 3 gems, Amethyst, Pearl, and Garnet. And they basically look after him in this huge house. He has his dad, but his mom basically gave up her physical form so that she can have Steven, and because basically gems can't like physically have a child, so she had to give up a lot just so that she can see the eyes for a human and all that. And it's really, really, really sweet series, and I highly recommend checking out Steven Universe. Yes, a few of the first episodes were just a bit, but they are very interesting episodes once it goes a bit further on in the series. And also, like, the animation, depending on who's storyboarding, can be very, very beautifully done. And also, like this, the backdrops are just really pretty as well. And also the characters I love the characters in this show. Like, they're just so interesting. They all have really interesting backstory, and yeah. And again, also the music in this is amazing. I absolutely love all the songs in this, and I really, really want to get like the soundtrack. Like, I think I could probably get it on iTunes, but I don't think like all the songs are there yet. But basically my 2 favorite songs are Stronger Than You and It's Over, Isn't It? So yes, Steven Universe is a very good, heartwarming, and also very feelsy kind of show. So I highly recommend it, and check it out. Anyways, on to the next one. Number 6, iZombie. The show is basically about a girl called Livmore who basically ends up becoming a zombie, but instead of being the I'm undead, I don't think for myself, I just want brains kind of thing. She is still pretty much like she was when she was a human. The only thing is that she can only eat brains to survive. But what she does is that she works at a morgue so that people who have died there, she eats their brains so she doesn't feel bad of killing anyone. But the side effect of eating a dead person's brain is that the fact that you get their memories. She uses her powers for good to solve crimes, basically, and it's very, very, very interesting on how they do it. And also, her personality also changes when eating the brain, so it's always interesting to see who she's acting like next. She's also, like, the actress who plays Liv Moore is so good, the fact she has to play so many different personalities. And yeah, again, I'm someone who is sick to death of zombies. I don't understand everybody's fascination with them. And I don't understand why people want a zombie apocalypse, because that sounds awful. But yeah, iZombie is an interesting more take on the actual zombie genre, and it was a comic book as well. I do actually want to somehow find this comic book because, again, it just so interests me. So yeah, I highly recommend iZombie. Even if you're not into zombies like I was, I highly recommend it. Number 5 is Once Upon a Time. Yes, so Once Upon a Time is about a girl called Emma Swan who just celebrated her 28th birthday. Things though, Emma Swan is an orphan. She basically found out that she was left in the woods as a child and then sent to an orphanage and has not had the best life in the world. Until one day, she was celebrating her birthday and this kid comes up to her door and she finds out, oh wait, this is the kid she gave up for adoption called Henry. He tells her that he should come with him back to Storybrooke because basically there's a curse. People in Storybrooke are basically under a curse and they think they're normal people, but they're actually fairy tale characters out of a book and that's set in another sort of dimension, and they're all under the curse of the evil queen, of course, and basically Henry asks her to come back. Emma does go back with him, but she doesn't believe it. She just thinks, oh, he's 8 years old, he's a kid, obviously he's going to believe this, when in actual fact, no, none of this is real. And of course you get flashbacks of what happens in the fairy tales, and all the stuff happens there. I'm obviously not going to spoil anything of the show because I highly recommend watching it. It is very good, except you might have seen my season 7 rant. If you haven't, links down below. But yeah, again, I highly recommend this show. Just the character development that you see on all the characters are so interesting, and they're so... Okay, there's some that don't get a lot of character development, but there's a few people who get their character development, and it has paid off really, really, really well. Again, I highly recommend this show. It's very interesting. And yeah, it's also on Netflix over here in the UK, so why not check it out? Anywho, let's get on to the next one. Number 4 is Charmed. Yes, this classic series I watched when I was only very, very young and absolutely loved. So basically, Charmed is about 3 sisters who basically have witch powers. One can stop time, one can move objects with their mind, and also one can basically see the future. And Charmed basically deals with a demon of the week kind of thing, but it's still very interesting, and I like how the series went. And even when they changed one of the sisters because of some drama that happened, but yeah, it's still a very interesting series and a good classic that if you somehow missed it during the time, I'd highly recommend it. So basically, if you like sort of magic and witches, again, I highly recommend the series. I actually have season 1 on DVD at the moment, and hopefully I'm going to get some more. Anyways, on to the next one. Number 3 is Supernatural. Yes, I'm pretty sure everybody and their mothers have talked about Supernatural. I very enjoyed this series. It is very interesting. Basically, it is about 2 brothers who go on a road. Basically, they're on a road trip to find their dad because basically he could be killed by demons, because what they do is hunt supernatural things. They're hunters that hunt supernatural things, and we basically... Season 1 is very much monster of the week kind of thing, but then it kind of steers off that and it's a bit more interesting. more things get introduced, more supernatural beings, and it's very interesting, but it's also very interesting to see the dynamic between the brothers, Sam and Dean. And yeah, again, it is very interesting. Again, if you've not seen this show, I'd highly recommend it. I will admit though, there is a lot of seasons. I haven't even completed it yet. I've not even watched season 12 yet. Like, a full episode of season 12 yet, and I'm just like, yeah, they should have ended it ages ago. But again, I still say, Supernatural, please end soon. I hear you're getting to season 13. What is up with that? Stop. Just stop it. Stop it. End it. Okay, you can end at season 13. That's it. Don't go for 14. Don't go for 15. Please, for the love of God, no. I might rant about that in another day. Anywho, on to the next one. Number 2 is Doctor Who. Yes, I love this series. Again, I've only seen the series that came out, I think it was 2005 when they renewed the series, and that's basically what I've only watched. I haven't watched the older ones, which I kind of do at some point want to, but at the moment it's just basically the new series that's came out. And yeah, I absolutely love Doctor Who, but I do have a love-hate relationship with it, I'm not gonna lie. Mainly since a certain writer, Stephen Moffat, came onto the show. Basically, yeah, I do love the show and everything, but there's times where I feel exhausted. I just feel like, why did that happen? I feel like Stephen Moffat's making a mockery of it, and which confuses me to heck because he does Sherlock so well. But for some strange reason, Doctor Who just doesn't seem to get the same treatment, which is really unfair. Is it just because Steve Moffat actually has a partner on it? Or I don't know. Again, Doctor Who might come back up the way it used to be with this new writer. So yeah, we'll see. But again, I'm getting to the point where I still love the show and it's going to remain one of my favorite TV shows, but it's still interesting the way they're doing this season. It's just, if they kept it the way that Steve Moffat was running it, the way he was running it there, I was probably going to stop watching it at some point and just not deal with it anymore. But yeah, anyways, that is for another day, for another rant. But yeah, anyways, yes, number 2 is Doctor Who. I should describe what Doctor Who is about, even though Doctor Who has been around for like over 50 years, and so we'll talk about it. Basically, yes, the description is that it's about a Time Lord called the Doctor. That's his name. The Doctor, well, he has a real name, but nobody knows his real name. And we probably will never know his real name because that's just the way it is. But yeah, and of course he travels around with companions and all that, and all have adventures in time and space and different dimensions and everything like that. Again, it's still an enjoyable show. I have been told from people who said that they should watch from season 10. No, don't do that. No. If you are going to get started into Doctor Who, I highly recommend do not go from season 10 because there's going to be a few things that are going to confuse you. I highly recommend at least going back to the first season where Christopher Eccleston was the Ninth Doctor, but no. I've seen people have said this is a good starting point for new fans, but it really isn't. It really isn't. So honestly, if you haven't seen it, go back to that season and watch throughout. Anywho, let's get to number 1. Now, what could beat Doctor Who? I know a lot of people are going to be really annoyed with me when I tell you what my number 1 is, and they're going to be like, why do you choose this over Doctor Who? And I will give you my reasons why. My number 1 is Friends. Yes, Friends, the good old comedy series Friends. The reason why is this show, no matter how many times I've seen every single episode, I always will laugh as hard as I laughed the first time watching it. This series will always have a special place in my heart, and I highly recommend. Again, it's just one of these shows that everyone's watched and it's just amazing. I absolutely love it. I even have the full set of all the DVDs of every episode, so when I'm at that point where I'm not feeling so well and I'm just cuddled up in the couch and I can't be bothered watching anything on Netflix, I go watch Friends because nothing like Friends always cheers me up. Of course, if you haven't seen Friends, which again, either you're just too young or you just have been living under a rock, basically Friends is about a set of 6 friends who go to a coffee house and you basically watch their lives and, you know, get into relationship, breakups, all that, and it's just done in a hilarious way. But yeah, that is my top 10 shows that I absolutely love. Tell me, what are your favorites? Tell me down below. Hey, maybe recommend me a new TV show. I'm always looking for more TV shows to watch. Anyways, yes, I hope you enjoyed this video. And remember to like and subscribe for more geeky themed videos. And until we meet again, goodbye!